and YouTube. I'll give you guys a second to join. TikTokers are joining as well. So this is a live that I'm doing on all three platforms. So be patient with me. I try to give attention to everybody so that everybody can participate and all that sort of thing. So good morning, Carmen. Good morning, Kara. Red Hot. What's up, Max? Good to see you. What's up, Red Hot? Okay, so listen, if you are on YouTube or Facebook, you have to actually greet me if you want me to greet you back, because other than that, I won't know that you're in there. Let me see who else I got. What's up, Go Bowling? Hey, Dirty Bad Bloggers. What's up? Vashti, good to see you. Hey, Lisa, think for yourself. What's up, Patrice and Sherry and DJ W and Donna Ski? And wow, it's happening really fast, but that's okay. What's up, Veteran? What's up, Gina? How are you? Hey, One Average. They are really going fast. Hey, YouTube and Facebook, you guys make sure that you speak if you want me to speak back, because I can't see you unless you speak. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. Go Bowling. I want to do a little housekeeping first when we get started, and then I have a definitive thing that I want to talk about. Hey, Mimi, good to see you over there in Facebook world. I am glad to see. Hey, Kelly. Hey, Auntie Tiff. What's up, Mel Gray? Good to see you. Hey, Beverly. For those of you all who attended the workshop that we did last night on hidden biases, that video will be on YouTube today. You will also get a follow-up email from me. You've already received one. What's up, Christine? That just kind of asks you your thoughts about the training. What's up, Patty Flanagan? Hey, Win Dixie. You'll get another one for us to get together again soon. Okay. Hey, Nikki Torres. Good to see you. As most of you all know, I will be traveling next week. I am a speaker and a facilitator of 2 breakout sessions for the Michigan Democratic Rural Caucus. So I will be there next week. So I will be live still, just probably on a much different schedule. So it might be end of the day. Hey, Julie, it's good to see you. So another thing, Donald Trump has already said that he intends to extend things for TikTok if a sale for ByteDance isn't completed by end of business tomorrow. Let me just say this. I do think that will be the case. If it is not the case, you should be following me on YouTube, on Facebook, on Blue Sky, on Substack. All of those places, I am the Danny Cook. And then in addition to that, make sure that you are tuned into the podcast, which is the Danny Cook Show. And you can stream the podcast anywhere that you listen to your favorite podcast. So that is the way that you find me. If by some slim chance things don't go as I think they'll go tomorrow, right? So again, because Trump has already said, hey, listen, if there's not a deal, if a deal isn't done by then we'll just extend it. So we'll just see. Hey, Smile City. Hey, Lenny. Good to see you. Hey, Sharon. What's up? Just here for the dad jokes. What's up, Carla? Good to see you. So I think that is most of the housekeeping that I wanted to do, like right off the bat. Let me see. Hey, Candy Red. What's up, Gemini? Good to see you. Hey, CJ. Hey, Cam. What's up? Sarah Cook. I think that there's lots of people that are going to be attending different hands-off protests that are happening tomorrow. What's up, Delane Dax? How are you? Hey, Connie. What's up, Louise? Good to see you over there. So let me just say this. Tomorrow is April 5th. There are plenty of opportunities to be involved in protesting. Some of them virtually, some of them are in person. I just saw Nashville Indivisible has put up a thing saying, hey, we're going hybrid. We're going to be having some people who can protest in person and some people who can't get out and about who can protest virtually. Hey, Thomas, good to see you. Now, let me just say this. Hey, Sharita. Folks, this is my thing. Y'all know how I feel about this. I don't believe that anybody should be sitting this out. Now, does that mean that absolutely everybody should be going out into the street and protesting? No, I don't really care how you exercise your resistance tomorrow. I don't know, nor do I care how you choose to protest. I just want you to do so. Right. Thanks, Witch. That's my country, not stupid shirt. Yeah. So here's the thing for me. Peace be wild. What do you mean no TikTok? I'm on TikTok today. I'm on TikTok. I'm on YouTube and I'm on Facebook. Hey, Cheryl. Good to see you. Hey, Christine. So again, what's up, MG? So my whole point is this. I don't care if you're part of the 92% that voted for Trump as a black woman. I don't care if you're part of the 80% that voted for Kamala as a black man. It doesn't matter to me. My thing is simply this. None of us should be sitting this out in any way, shape, or form, right? So, there's plenty of ways to do that. You can abstain from giving your money to corporate America tomorrow. You can plant a tree and help the environment tomorrow. There's all different ways that you could exercise the things that you believe in, and the things that seem to be under attack from this administration, right? Hey, Conchita. Hey, Dilgrave. And so that's the point. That's the point that I'm making, right? Riley Dean, I can't tell you what to do with your son. I can tell you that my grandkids will be with me tomorrow when I'm out protesting. Yes, they will be. And I just, so let me just say this, okay? Hey, it is good to see you, Dr. DeVoe. I had to give you credit last night for a workshop that I did. We started a book club on Blind Spot, and so a lot of us have purchased the book, and we're kind of going over all of it together. So I appreciate you introducing me to the book. It's pretty astounding even now. So it's been great. So what else can you do that you have to work? I mean, the things that you always do, Conchita. I mean, continuing to contact your elected officials, continuing to write letters to the editor, continuing to, buy less from the big monsters, right? If you can avoid them at all costs, and just contributing, even if you can't participate tomorrow because you work, there are things that you can do, to support those efforts. I'm just letting everybody know. My thing is simply this: I think that everyone should be invested in what's happening to the country, and I know that some Black people are like, nah, sis, we've done our job. And to me, that's just the crappiest response. I spent this morning listening to a little bit of PBS NewsHour. They were doing a live broadcast. I don't know if any of you all saw it. I shared it on my page, right? And I listened to them. And feel free to join the panel if you have something that you would like to discuss with me. I'm not arguing with comments today. So if you have something that you would like to say and have me truly address it, then feel free to join the panel. Okay. So I was listening to them, and I don't know if you all saw it or not, but I shared it on my Facebook. And PBS NewsHour was showing a live meeting between the BIA, the Board of Indian, oh my gosh, Indian Association. I don't know why my brain is going blank right now. Bureau. Oh my gosh. My board, I said board. The Bureau of Indian Affairs is what it is. Hey, Stacy. Thank you for the Golner. Right, Bexy. My brain was all over the place. I'm thinking school boards and all kinds of things. Yep. Thanks, Kimber. I finally got it together, but I was watching it this morning, and they were meeting with Native Americans about a piece of legislation that they are celebrating its 50 years, right? Yeah, it is really bad back home, Dr. DeVoe. It really is. Um, it really is. Yeah. Agreed. So, but I was listening to them, and I'm listening to the leaders of these different tribes as they are addressing members of the government, and they are talking about the sounds good. Hey, Rebecca. So, but they were talking about their self-governance and education. So there was a piece of legislation that was passed about 50 years ago. And that piece of legislation is specifically about their self-governance, Native Americans being able to take over and not have to go through the federal government for many of the programs that they need to run in their own communities. And so, for example, one of the things that they used to not be able to do, they used to not be able to record leases. It had to go through BIA, right? And now that they've given that over to Native Americans to do for themselves, leases are now recorded in 48 hours. But there are other things that they still have to go through a bunch of red tape to do. I did not know that Native Americans had shown up to assist with some of the storms that had come through, but because of regulations, they were not allowed to assist. They were going to come in and help with debris and help with people and help with whatever. And because of regulations, they were not able to do so. And that just astounds me. And when I was listening to them, I heard something that I had not thought about. And this again, so this goes into our bias, our availability, our whatever. Yeah, it was amazing. It's on PBS NewsHour. If you want to go back and watch it, I shared it on my Facebook page. It's on their Facebook page, but they were live streaming it today. So I'll tell you what I had as we are thinking about all of these different cuts. If there are cuts to Social Security and Medicare, and if there are cuts to programs like that, what happens? We've all thought about like our kids in school. We've thought about our elderly. I don't know about you all. I just had not thought, oh my God, our Native American population. And they already have some of the lowest life expectancies in the country. And don't ask me why my brain, I think it's that bias of availability. They're not talked about enough. We don't hear enough information on them. And so the data, the information, hey, Pamela, is not in your face, right? And so I thought, God, look at my bias. My bias showed up, not an intentional bias, but definitely an implicit bias that comes from me not having the information, right? And I began to think about it. And so things that I wanted to kind of get into, and I want to share some information with you all that maybe you do or you don't know. So last week or earlier this week, I'm not really sure which, maybe it was earlier this week. What's up, DeBoss? Hey, Carla. What's up, Beach Bum? Good to see you. They do, Mary Shaw. We're going to get into that. Yes, we've talked about that, Brad Smith, with some of our Navajo communities, our Navajo reservations that do not have access to clean running drinking water. Absolutely. So let me share this with you all. So before the end of the year, still under the Biden-Harris administration, there was a $10 billion package that was passed to assist with big agriculture, right? With any hardships that they might be facing, to ensure that our agricultural system was going to be okay. Okay. So take that one thing, that $10 billion for big agriculture, right? And set it over here. So that happened at the end of last Congress. And then last month, almost a month ago, I think March 7th, Trump's Secretary of Agriculture made an announcement that, separate from this $10 bailout over here, or funds to support big agriculture, they were going to freeze the funds. There's $1 billion in these programs where schools, senior citizen facilities, food pantries, food banks, right? Those folks buy produce and they buy goods and services from local farmers in their communities. So not big agriculture, but farmers right in their community, right? Appreciate you, Rebecca. Now, what Trump's Secretary of Agriculture announced was that program, that $1 billion program, was being frozen. We're not going to do it anymore. And the verbiage was, the term that was used is that it was non-essential. So I just want to be clear that the $1 billion to ensure that schools and senior citizens and food banks have access to local farmers, and local farmers have government contracts, right, to help their income and to help their revenue, right? She said, nope, that's not essential. We don't need to do that. But what they did do was leave the $10 billion in place for big agriculture. So while we're doing all of this and we're talking about these tariffs and what's going to happen, and folks, this 34% tariff on incoming goods to China is going to be huge when it comes to our farmers. I don't know if you all realize that our largest, what we export the largest to China is agriculture. And I have some numbers pulled up for you. Okay. I have some numbers pulled up. So, and yes, as always, I'm going to put all of this in the link tree for you. It just really frustrates me. Okay. So in, our agricultural exports are, let me see, in 2024, U.S. agricultural exports increased by 1.8 billion, which is 1% over 2023, reaching the third highest level on record, right? So for four categories typically make up about 90% of exports: grains and feeds, oil seeds and products, livestock and animal products, and horticultural products, right? So in 2024, soybeans, corn, beef products, tree nuts, pork products, dairy products, soybean meal, food preparations, wheat and poultry meat and products, those comprised 57% of our export value. Okay. It's crazy that we don't understand the impact that this is going to have on us. Hold on one second, because I've got several different articles that I have pulled up in sources. By the way, this what I'm reading from now is USDA. What I'm reading from now is from the government website, the USDA, just so everyone knows. Okay. Because I want to make sure that you have the know what I'm reading from. Okay. So give me one second. So in fiscal year 2022, our exports to China were $36.4 billion in agriculture, right? Agriculture. Oh, I know some of us do, but many do not. And that's the whole purpose, right? Is so that we can go over these things and talk about them. And when we think about $36 billion, just the agricultural exports to China, that's a huge deal, right? It's a huge deal. It's the largest export market. Did y'all hear me? Did y'all hear me say that? I'm going to read it exactly like it tells you. U.S. agricultural exports to China in fiscal year 2022 were $36.4 billion and surpassed the previous year's record, with China as the largest export market for the second consecutive year. Largest export market for the second consecutive year. And there's 34% tariffs going into effect on the 10th. What do you all think is going to happen? If you live back home, so most of you all know I'm from Northeast Tennessee. You all just saw shipments of trucks coming to you all with food on it that got stopped. That's not coming. It's not coming. Second Harvest Food Bank of Tennessee, Second Harvest Food Bank, right back home. Y'all, you all, they told you, yeah, some of our stuff was on there and we didn't get it. We didn't get it, right? No, it's not that the budget got cut. It's that they just, it's not a budget cut from Congress. This is the Trump administration saying this is non-essential. Now, it's essential that we keep $10 billion available for big agriculture, but it's not essential that we ensure that local schools, food banks, and senior citizens can buy fresh produce, fresh items from their local farmers, people right there in their community. So when my headline says the Trump administration's attack on small farmers, Native Americans, and rural people, I mean that. I mean that. I actually made a note. Give me a second, because I pull up a bunch of different things to tell you all. Missy, you okay? You're fine? Okay, I opened up both of these. Okay, so listen to this. In 2022, Native American and Alaska Native producers in the U.S. generated $6.5 billion in agricultural sales, 1% of all U.S. farm level sales, and they operated 2.3% of all U.S. farms and ranches. They cover over 63 million acres of farm and grazing land. Our Native American and our Alaskan Native farmers. I wonder what this does to any of the contracts that we have with them, with those farms, for them to produce for us. And I get concerned about our track record of changing our mind on our agreements that we've had with those communities that are already at high risk. So I heard a statistic today, and I missed the name of the tribe, but I believe he was Creek. Do not quote me on that, but I believe that it was a Creek gentleman that was speaking. And here's what he said. They're right outside of Scottsdale, Arizona. And he said that their life expectancy is so, like, I looked it up afterwards just to kind of get like the gist to see the deal. And Native American life expectancy is around 60 to 64 years of age, whereas the rest of the country is around 76 years of age. Y'all, you're reducing your lifespan by 15, 20%. Did you hear me? The life expectancy for Native Americans in this country is between 60 to 64 years of age, when the rest of the country is sitting at like 76 years, 76, 77 years. And they are talking about, listen, if Medicare gets cut, it will be devastating to our communities, just absolutely crippling to our communities. And then they were talking about, he was talking about some of the programs that the Native Americans are running on their own, like the hospitals that they've built or things that they've put together, right? And he said, but we don't just treat natives at our hospital. We treat natives, we treat non-natives, we treat immigrants. But he kept saying this every time he would talk about how they run their programs. He would say, because that is how we take care of our community. That is how we take care of our community. Same thing when he talked about them going and wanting to assist after the storm came and not being allowed to help because of regulations. He said, we weren't allowed to, but we came to offer because that is how we take care of our community. And I have said this for a long time, and I will continue to say it. I truly believe that we can learn so much as a country from Native Americans and as people, right? And he said this, he was talking and he said, what we have seen is that when we have been given our own things to run, right? When the Bureau of Indian Affairs has actually given the power over to the tribes to run their own programs and their own services, they've been more effective than when they were run by the federal government. He said, listen, we had the very first treaty with England in 1733. We had our next treaty, the very first treaty with the United States of America was in 1790 with George Washington. And he said, listen, he said, all we think is that all we want is for you all to actually keep your word, to give to us what you said you would give to us. Appreciate you, Small City, right? And again, I'm listening to this and I think about how right they would be. Maybe justified is a better word. I think about how justified they would be if they detested this country and everyone in it. You know what I mean? Like how justified they would be in feeling the way they feel. And yet, every time they went to speak, they talked about what an honor it was to be here, what an honor it was to have their voices heard, and all of those different things. And so it's really a challenge to balance that fire of resistance and revolution and all of that, with not wanting to become the people that you're fighting against. And I think that's one of the biggest concerns that I have for us where we are right now. And some of the verbiage that I hear from people is that we need to fight them the way they fight us and all of that, right? Hey, Jackie. Hey, Obscured. I don't ever want to give Donald Trump, the administration, Hegseth, Elon Musk, anybody, that much power over me that they determine who I am in this lifetime and how I behave and how I think, right? Just saying. Wow. Oh, I know. Human for humanity, 100%. I believe that overall, we are definitely at greater risk. And so I know today a lot of people are going to be talking about them and the Pentagon announcing that there's going to be an investigation into Pete Hegseth, as there should be. As there should be. My concern is if it comes from within the Pentagon and the Pentagon falls under the Trump administration, how much will be done? I don't know. I don't know. So whenever something like this comes up, I go back to my measure of 3, right? My 3 circles. Circle 1, is it something that I can control? Nope. Okay. Circle 2. Is it something that I can influence? No. The only thing that I can influence about it is people's awareness. And then you have to ask, how much awareness does someone need? Does it benefit people to know that that investigation is going on? Maybe. But beyond that, what else? Is it beneficial to speculate about what might happen and how long it might take and what might come out? Because that's what I see the news media doing and a lot of content creators doing all the time, right? Um, and so that part, I go, no, that part's not beneficial. I don't need to hear everybody's futuristic Miss Cleo. This is what I think will happen, believe might happen, because what we've been taught, what we have experienced is that very, very little of what we expect to happen is actually happening. So I think other than to say, yes, there's an investigation, that's about all there is, and just move on, right? Yeah, the speculation, Lisa, is for me what is exhausting and energy draining. The speculation is the energy draining because you're putting all of that focus into something that you don't know anything about, right? So again, circle 1, can I control it? Nope. Circle 2, can I influence it? No, other than making people aware. And then I get to choose how I do that. And so after that, I'm moving on. I'm not spending any more of my emotional currency on that matter. This matter, though, is really important. And this matter affects every single one of you in your local communities because you have local farmers, you have community farmers, and you may very well have farmers in your community that had these contracts. And these contracts no longer exist. And I think I read yesterday, hold on, and I'll show it to you guys again. I read yesterday one of the guys who, God love it, he, it was what, almost 13% of his revenue or something like that, maybe more. Hold on a second. I'm going to log back in, guys, so I can get over there and show you. My air conditioning is having issues again. And so I am waiting for them to come. Okay, there's this one. I want to open in a new tab, and I want this one. Okay, I have 2 for you. All right. So as you all know, as I hope you all know, what is happening? Okay, it's gone. Okay, so for the last several years, I would contact them, Desi. I would go to farmers markets. I would contact them directly, and ask that very question, because how we help them isn't going to be the same for every one of them, right? So I would go to your local farmers markets, your flea markets, your places where your farmers might show up and set up stands, or if they have like standalone facilities, visit them and ask, because it will probably be different for everyone. But let me give you this. Is this the bill? Okay, yes. All right. So this is one of the quotes that I wanted to give you. So for those of you all know who don't know, yes, baby. I don't know. Is he under the bed?
No.
Are you sure?
No.
I don't know where him is. Is he hiding from you?
No.
Make sure he didn't get locked in the closet. Make sure he's not in my closet. She's looking for Titan. Okay, so how many of you all know? And if you were in here the other day, then yes, you know. But I'm going to give you all, the rest of you all who weren't in here the other day, some data just so you know. Okay. Yeah, I know. So you give me just a second. We'll get there. Hey, Shannon. What, babe? Him not. Titan. We'll find him. Okay. So remember when we're talking about when we're talking about the $10 billion that's still out here for big agricultural farms, and them just leaving little farmers, the little guys, kind of out on the road. Here's why. So listen to this. The $10 billion that is out here is based on the number of acres farmed, and the largest holders of that land, guess who they are? Guess who the largest holders of our land is? They are absentee landlords, people that own them, but they don't operate them. They are foreign investors, and billionaires. And here's a breakdown of some of the largest owners of the 900 million acres of U.S. farmland that we have. So first, 283 million acres of all U.S. farmland is owned by non-operator landlords. So out of the 900 million acres of U.S. farmland, almost a third, 283 million acres, is operated by landlords who are absent, who do not operate the actual facility. Okay. The next group of individuals that we want to talk about, hey Linda, are foreign entities. Okay, they own a small fraction of privately held agricultural land, which is about 40 million acres. So we're up to 320 million, 325 million acres right now, right? What's up, T? Hey, Carla. And then next, Chinese ownership. Chinese investors own about 383,000.
I want 1 million and 40 cents.
You do? Come on, I'll get it for you. Give me 1 second. Let me get her stuff for her, guys. Here, I got it. Now listen, you can't get it on my rug, okay? You're not? Huh? Well, it might fall down through the thing. You don't want to lose it. Do you want to play with it right here?
Yeah.
Here you go. And you can go get your tools from outside. If you want to go get your cutters, your fish and your octopus or whatever, you can bring them inside. So she's got kinetic sand yesterday, and they are grape and watermelon smelling. So that's why she said, I want grape and watermelon sand. And I need to get a rug for my balcony so that the sand doesn't go down to the neighbor downstairs. So I was like, why don't you just play inside with it? But her sensory table is outside, but it's got all the little cookie cutters, but they're not really cookie cutters. And I said, you can go get your tools and bring them inside. And she went, yeah, and clapped her little hands together and went trotting off to the balcony, which I love. Okay. Yeah, her molds. Thank you, Denise. Me. Girl, get your tools. Okay. We're down to Chinese ownership. Okay. Chinese ownership is 383,934 acres, according to 2021 data. And Bill Gates owns 269,000. Oh yeah, the Chinese can own land, but not the data that comes from TikTok. Yes. So Bill Gates owns 269,000 acres of farmland himself. And then here's another one that I think everybody skips over because everybody focuses on on Bill Gates. Jeff Bezos, Mr. Amazon himself, he owns about 420,000. Hey, not so loud. So Jeff Bezos owns about 420,000 acres of U.S. farmland. Now, if one wanted to, go down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole, right? One might say, well, gosh, this looks like an attempt to continue to monopolize the country, especially when it comes to our agriculture, right? Amazon now has their own brand of grocery products, right? Happy Belly, and Amazon products, right? And so one might say that by giving $10 billion to bail out big ag from the kickback of all these tariffs and things, and then cutting out the $1 billion that benefits local farmers, schools, right? Whole Foods too. Yep. And healthcare. Yep. They have a pharmacy. Amazon has a pharmacy now. And so I think that people, yep, I know that's what everybody's saying. Yep. Amazon has a pharmacy now. Amazon has their own products, their own grocery products now. I'm trying to think what else they have now. I'll tell you what, the first time I saw the commercial, I was like, y'all gotta be fucking kidding me, right? The first time I saw the commercial about Amazon being able to, your delivery driver being able to leave your boxes inside your garage. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. What? No. You mean you think I'm giving Amazon the keys to my house? No. You got it? And so I just wanted you all to kind of understand the breakdown. Now get this. They laid off or got rid of, fired 3,000 USDA employees, right? 3,000 of them. And they're in limbo as to whether or not they could be constitutionally fired or not. Well, when you tell these farmers who need help to go to their FSA office, but there's no one there in that office to work for them to help them file their paperwork, and you live in a small town in a rural community where you have crappy Wi-Fi or satellite Wi-Fi or whatever, right? What is your ability to do that? And the funds are only for commodity crops like barley, oats, sorghum, and among others, and cannoli. Specialty crops and dairy products are not included. So here is the reason this is a problem. Remember what specialty crops and dairy products are not included. So the funds favor states with large amounts of what we call row crop farmland, right? Exactly, Chef Ryan. But not dairy or so-called specialty crops. So not the food you buy in the produce aisle. So the funds are going to go for mostly other stuff. So in Texas, that accounts for $903 million, Iowa, $864 million, Illinois, $812 million, Kansas, $790 million, North Dakota, $682 million. So the funds will reduce the price for crops that are usually processed, ultra processed foods. So much for RFK's objective that we eat more natural products, less processed foods, which, by the way, I agree with, right? Exactly. So comment from Facebook, it says, not to mention significant Middle Eastern ownership of AG land in the Southwest, disrupting water rights. Yeah. Control the food, control the people. That's a horrible thought, but I hear you, right? And this is the danger that I don't think that enough people are talking about. And y'all know me, like I could go live every day for hours every single day and talk nothing but about whatever Donald Trump is saying today. But that's not really the point. So guys, TikTok wants a flash goal, that little team heart thingamajigger from 40 different people. That's what it wants. Yep, I saw that about the Senate Ethics Committee, and they're looking into who had invested in agriculture ahead of time, right? And so I think it will be interesting to see. But I think the point that I really wanted to drive home in talking about this is about the impact that this is having on small farmers, rural communities, Native Americans, because these are often forgot about places. And it's gonna impact inner cities as well, because you all know that that's how this works. I'm going to tell you now, I can tell the difference if I go to the grocery store and I go to buy produce, and I go to no worries, Desi, and I go to buy produce, and let's just say the first store that I go to is a Food Lion. And then I go from that Food Lion to a Harris Teeter. And I go from that Harris Teeter to a Publix. And I go from that Publix to a Whole Foods. There's a drastic difference between the quality of the produce, of the healthy food that is there, that is available. So, well, now we're talking about agriculture, and then we can go straight to grocery stores. So how many of you all remember prior to the election when we talked so much about grocery prices, and everybody was focused on eggs and bread and this and that, and wanted to blame it on Joe Biden? And I kept saying to people, if you had been listening, if you had been sitting in the seats and attending the open meetings for the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, you would have heard for the last year and a half, 2 years, you would have heard local farmers, smaller business owners, smaller grocery, not farmers, but smaller business grocery owners. And when I say smaller, I still mean significant revenue. Like a guy that's got $1 billion in grocery revenue, and he's got grocery stores in 5 to 7 states. He's a nice size. And this guy is screaming about the big people, the Krogers, the Albertsons, who the prices on their shelves are the prices that he's having to pay straight from the supplier. Do you know that if the FTC had not stopped that merger between Albertsons and Kroger's, Albertsons, Kroger's, and Walmart would have controlled about 70% of our groceries? That's astonishing, astounding, and really concerning. $13 more heart rate. Yeah. So what it is when TikTok asks you to do the little one coin heart me's, they want one from 13 different people now. I don't know why these flash goals are new. It's not my goal. It's a TikTok goal. Whatever. Right. But I think it's incredibly important. Oh shit. Hold on. They're sending me something and saying I would highly recommend that everybody watch this video. What's he claiming? He's an idiot. Okay, I'll watch it later. Okay. But just to kind of talk about this $1 billion and the impact that it's having on folks. So this is from, and this is already in a an article that I posted in my link tree, but let me give it to you again. Okay. So here's what it says. It says Thomas Ike, who runs Kankakee, it's Kankakee, Kankakee Valley Homestead in Walkerton, Indiana, was notified on Wednesday that his contracts with both the LFS and LFPA programs had been canceled. Now, if you all remember, here's what those programs are. Remember when we said they canceled the $1 billion? Here it is. So $660 million was designated for a program called LFS. Good morning. And that was Local Food for Schools Cooperative Agreement Program. Okay, that's LFS. And then there was an additional $420 million for Local Food Purchase Assistance Cooperative Agreement, which is LFPA, which supports food banks and like senior citizen organizations that need to get groceries and stuff from folks. Yeah, so the name of his farm is Kankakee Valley Homestead. Kankakee, Kankakee Valley Homestead. And here's what he said. He said, I was notified on Wednesday, and I've had this for about a week or so. So I would imagine this was last week or so, that both of his contracts with LFS and LFPA had been canceled. He had already made purchases for the 2025 season based on those contracts for the program. So now he's got $10,000 worth of seed, fertilizer, and other supplies that he's already purchased for this year, right? Now get this. He made his farmer's market schedule. Like, you know, when you schedule when you're going to be at the farmer's market and you have to pay to be at the farmer's market, he made it based on his participation in the programs. Last year, that accounted for 15% of his farm's revenue. 15% of the business for his revenue of his farm was cut. Yes, baby. Nothing. You just want to what? Oh, you want a hug? I love you. You're being such a good girl. Yeah, 5 more hearts, team hearts. Yeah. So it needs 5 more people, individual people, to send their team hearts. I don't know why they don't give me the goal at the beginning, because it would have been hit by now. But you know, yay! Not really fun, but it's okay. So these are things that people should know because it's impacting. You know, when you talk to people about, oh well, the Pentagon is investigating Pete Hegseth, right? People don't care. Oh, thank you guys. I appreciate it. You guys hit that for them. Love that. Love that. Mean it. Right. But people don't get it. They don't. I'm the only reason you're on TikTok. Well, I appreciate that. Right. Way to go, folks. So, but my thing is this, right? This other farm, I'm going to read you another one from another farmer. And I put this one in my link tree as well. So this is from Pennsylvania. Those of you guys in Pennsylvania, this is a quote from someone. And she says, I'm a dairy farmer. And 3 years ago, I started bottling and selling milk to bring fresh, appreciate you, Alex, nutritious food directly to my community. Agriculture is Pennsylvania's top industry, with dairy leading the way. Yet milk remains the most requested item at food banks. Nearly 2 years ago, thanks to a local food grant program, that's one we're talking about, thanks one average, the Central PA Food Bank connected me with Safe Harbor, which is a nonprofit in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Since then, their team has picked up close dated milk from her farm every single week, giving it to their residents, thanks Smile City, right? And the folks at the Salvation Army. The grant that she got helped cover bottling costs, reduce food waste, and put nutritious whole milk into the hands of people who needed it most. In January, she was told, hey, your funding is going to be frozen, right? Appreciate you, Gigi. And that's what she was told. Oh, your funding is going to be frozen. But she said, I kept donating the milk because I knew the impact on the community. See, this is the thing that I don't like. I do not like it when the rich put the average American citizen in the position to either fend for themselves or help those in need. And more than likely, we help those in need because we have been in need and we know what it is. We know what it is to need milk. So we continue to give, even though it would be best for us when we don't. Meanwhile, the ultra rich keep it all for them damn selves. And it makes me angry. It makes me angry. It is the same thing that I watched Ballot Health do to nurses and folks that work in the hospital, right? You give them subpar pay. You don't have enough of the supplies that you should have for patients and things, right? You leave, and so you leave the nurses to either abandon their patients, right? Thanks, Chris Haven, or do the best they can based on what they have. And then it puts their license at risk. It puts their license at risk because they're trying to do the best thing for the patient with the little bit that the damn millionaire CEOs and vice presidents are getting in their pockets. Folks, the reason why when people say, oh, I want less regulation in government, the regulation is not the problem. Regulation isn't the problem. It is the enforcement or the lack thereof. Yeah, it was a pretty gift, wasn't it? Right? Just giggles. It is the lack of enforcement. And so when people say to me, well, don't you think that if we tax the ultra rich X amount of dollars, then they're just going to not give anymore and it'll backfire. They'll just give it anyway. No, they won't. Listen, do you know how we know? Do you know how we know that the super ultra rich are not ever going to circulate the wealth? Because they don't, and they haven't already. Thanks, Smile City. Right? Guys, if they were going to, they would have. We sit back all the time and we watch these companies do things that they know are bad for the environment, that they know are bad for people. And they do it at the expense of even the people that work for them. I say it all the time. So back home where I'm from, and it's like this in a lot of small towns. Yes, baby.
A bed.
Titan's on my bed?
Yeah.
Oh, you found him, huh?
It's on you.
Well, hold on a second. Okay.
I want you to see him.
You want me to see him?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. She wants me to see the kitty cat. I'll be right back. I promise. I got to hurry. Okay, sissy? Where is he?
Look at you.
He is right there. Is he taking a nap? Okay, let me finish up, okay? Okay, ooh, careful. You almost hit your face on that. That would hurt, baby. Be careful. Okay. So, she loves Titan. They have grown up together. Listen, I got Titan at 2 months old, November of 2021. Mila was born February 5th of 2021. So, but this is my thing. When we talk about like what's happening, like where I'm from, and I really believe it is similar like this in like many, many small towns. So see if this sounds. Yeah, that's why she's so excited, Stacey. Is because she found me. Um. So. Right, Michael Anthony. So let me share this with you all. So back home where I'm from, here's what you have. You have these big factories like Eastman Chemical Company that is headquartered in Kingsport, Tennessee, right? Back where I'm from. And Eastman Chemical Company's backyard is the Holston River, right? And then you also have right down the road from Eastman, you have Domtar, which is another plant. You also have BAE, which is arms ammunition plant, right? Then you also have Air Gas, which is there, right? And so that's all. That's all within the city of Kingsport. Y'all feel free to let me know if I forgot anybody because I may have, but that's all in the city of Kingsport, Tennessee. Okay. So what you have is, and then you don't have Tennessee's not really known for like where we are. The land isn't really known for like tons and tons of agriculture and stuff. But anyway, so what you have is you have lots of Appalachia eaten, if you will. You also have a lot of the I can't say that word on TikTok. You have a lot of the JD Vance's family partakes of this particular party favor, according to him, right? You know what kind of party favors the Appalachian region is known for, right? And so what you have is you have corporations that do not do the best things for the environment. You have the people that work there and they love working there because those are also the highest paying jobs, right? So you keep people from being angry at you for tearing up their natural environment because you pay a living wage and you're one of the few places in town that does pay a living wage, right? And then those people get sick. Those people go to the hospital, which in our case is a medical monopoly, right? And then you have the Eastman Chemical. It's just so this is what you find them all in bed with each other. I missed what we're giving condolences for. I'm sorry. I'm scrolling back. I'm still scrolling. I've missed it. I didn't see it. Okay, I still can't see it, but Tori, whatever it is, sending you lots of love and hugs, honey. Right. They have all the power. They sit on all the boards. Oh my God. Yeah, Tori, sending you lots of hugs and love, sweets. So when we think about all of these things, and how it impacts us, you think about who gets taken advantage of. And it's crazy, right? It is absolutely crazy. And people don't think about it. These are the same people, the people that are standing 10 toes down arguing with you in support of this administration and in support of Donald Trump are the people that are significantly impacted by the policies that he puts forward in a way that is detrimental to them, you know? And it's just crazy that people seem to still just kind of not hold anybody accountable for what's happening. So let me see if I can pull up a couple of things for you. There's lots of articles that are kind of out there about these things. I don't always have gift articles to them, but the USDA numbers are important for you to have. I'm looking to see in all the notes that I made. Yeah. You think there's a concerted effort to keep other employers? Well, I can tell you this, Jackie, when you say this area, I don't know if you mean back home where I'm from, but here's what I know about where I'm from is that they have no interest in letting anybody come into the region who's not going to say yes to the hole in the wall gang. And we know, and that's not me calling them that. It's a group of 15 people in our region back home. They manage 65% of the workforce in the region. and they're not having anybody come in there that isn't going to bow to them, who isn't going to kowtow to them. They just aren't going to do it. They manage 65% of the workforce in the region, and they're on every board of everything. So yeah, and that's what. So that was also something that Chair Khan at the FTC really wanted to take on, was the control of the workforce. When you have it like that, folks, you can determine what the living wage is. You determine what people get paid and what they don't. And then people either have no choice but to either work for you because that's where their family is and they can't afford to move anywhere else, right? Or they take a travel job and then they're away from their family for weeks upon weeks at a time. And I think that people aren't focusing in on this enough, and just how much damage it does and is doing, right? But it doesn't have to be like this anymore. And so, you know what? I was sitting back yesterday thinking, which I do sometimes, right? And I found myself frustrated. I started thinking again about Cory Booker's filibuster. It became a filibuster, right? And Strom Thurmond's filibuster, and Ted Cruz's filibuster, and the difference in the motivating factors between all three of those. We know that Strom Thurmond's, it was racism. He did not want integration. And I read you guys some quotes and some things that he said, and that's what he meant. And it was so important to him. It impassioned him to such a degree that he went for 24 hours and 18 minutes, right? And I thought about Ted Cruz going 21 hours in a less sincere way, in my opinion, right? Reading damn Dr. Seuss on the congressional floor, but to prevent people from getting health care. Like the purpose of Ted Cruz's filibuster was to prevent the Affordable Care Act, because they didn't want to give Barack Obama a lesson, a win. Yeah, no, really, Amanda, he actually read Dr. Seuss on the floor of Congress as part of his speech to filibuster so that it would not get passed. So what I see in those two filibusters from those two people, right, is I see a green eggs and ham. That's what he read, right? And so let me say this, right? Mimi, what you doing, babes? You what? Okay. Where? Okay, Carla. So, but the distinct, yes, which water? You all know she's playing in the water. In the water. Mila. So for somebody who says that shouldn't be allowed, here's the thing. It's the only way to end Can I see your hands, baby? Yeah, I know. Can I see them? Because you look like you might need help. Can I see? Do you want to get it off?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
No, I got
Because remember, so listen, we can't get the sand wet. This is not regular sand. This is kinetic sand. Okay. So you can't get it wet like that. It doesn't work the same. Okay. Girl.
If I ask you and I say I want.
You're trying to ask me?
Yes, and I want.
Okay. I don't remember you trying to ask me. I'm pretty sure that I've been sitting right here. I don't think that I heard you ask me, girl. Okay. Go get a paper towel and do the rest. Okay. Yeah, I agree. So listen, so if they want to stop, I have no idea, Rebecca, but if they want to stop a filibuster, it takes a vote of 60 members of Congress for a cloture, and then that would end it, right? But the point that I want to make, thanks, Jessica, the point that I want to make here is not just the process. And, because there's debate, right? Thanks, one average woman. There's debate about whether we should just get rid of the filibuster. And here's the thing, just like every other tool that we have, I love it when it's used for good. I hate it when it's used for bad. Right? So how I feel about the filibuster depends on who's using it and for what reason. It's the same thing about everything. We want to blame all of our problems on these external things, right? TikTok's the problem, Facebook's the problem, social media is the problem, video games are the problem. No, listen, those things are only a problem if the person using them is the problem, right? That's when it becomes a problem. Appreciate you, Jen. It depends upon who's using them and what they're using it for. Which brings me back to exactly what we were talking about last night. We were talking about this last night. So for those of you all who don't know, I do free workshops, trainings, if you will, right? So last night we did one on hidden bias. And we were talking about how easy it is to spot bias in everybody else except yourself. Because who wants to do that? Who wants to spend time actually truly acknowledging and exploring and investigating what is going on with you? Right? But people can say, oh, well, I think this and I think that, but it's all about what you use it for. So anyway, when I think about this filibuster, thanks, Linda. The thing that concerns me, right, is what motivated. Well, I don't know if it's on unbrainwashing Giggles Free, but we did talk about helping everybody see their own internal bias. That we did, right? But check this out. So this is why when I get caught going back and forth, you've caught yourself reacting from a place of bias and tease live last night. I love that. So I love the fact that you came out of that workshop and then were mindful enough to recognize a bias when it happened. I noticed it this morning. You know what I mean? So it's understanding that, and that's why I love the subtitle of the book, right? The subtitle is Blind Spot, Hidden Biases of Good People. And so I love the fact that the first thing they do in the book is they define what they mean good by good people. Who are the good people? And good people are folks with good intentions who work to align their behaviors with those intentions. That's a good person. And good people still have a ton of bias. Right, Linda? The key is, what do we do about it once we recognize it? Yeah, Red Hot, I was exhausted. Yeah, I love good trouble. Y'all know that. What's up, Sean? So, anyway, I look at the difference between those two. I'm going to get to where I was going, I swear, y'all. Just after I finish chasing all the little squirrel, right? Anyway, but I look at what motivated. Can you think about this, y'all? What would motivate you to keep one foot on the Senate floor and pee behind a bucket for 21 hours and not eat and not whatever? What would be motivation enough? What would be a thing that you were so passionate about that you would do that? Because that's what Strom Thurmond did. That's what Strom Thurmond did, right? And he did it, and it was hate. He did it, and it was hate. It was racism. It was prejudice. It was bigotry, right? Sorry, Facebook and YouTube, y'all got Titan's tail. And then I look at Cory Booker's reason for doing it. And he was the longest, and his message was unifying while calling people out. You follow me? He did something that said, listen, this is what the current folks are doing. And I know many of my Republican colleagues, and I know you all to be good people, which is why I'm calling you in. And what I think is starting to happen is Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Florida, it is demonstrating to Republicans that they can turn away from Trump and still get the support of their constituents. Because when you lose 30%, when you lose 20% or 15% of your margin, then yeah. Not so loud. She's got headphones on. Not so loud. Yeah, when you put headphones on, Sissy, it makes your voice louder. Oh, yeah. So you got to talk softer. So for me, I began to think about this, and I'll tell you the little bit of an epiphany I had. So yesterday, there was another live that was going on, and maybe you all have popped into this live before, but there was another live going on by another creator on TikTok, and the conversation was around, not so loud, what black jobs, what careers do we need to be pushing black people into, black children into, right? And I won't say that, Riley, because I don't know what's ahead in his life. I will say that it might be his most important act to date, right? And this conversation is, so you had one person saying we need to be pushing our children into construction jobs and manufacturing, because those are steady jobs and that's good money and whatever. And then you have somebody else saying, no, we need to be pushing them into technology and coding and whatever, because that's the future. And somebody else said, that is what all the other countries are pushing their children towards, and da 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 da. Right? So listen. So this was the argument, and I had a bit of an epiphany. Right? Number one, the first thing I thought was, I don't have to push them into anything. Why can't you find what they love and then work within that frame? And for those, so for example. Right, Sandra, coding won't be done by AI. And that's what somebody else said yesterday. But they started to argue about the future, right? And I thought, here's my thing. I don't know if there's ever been an active, and I don't mean push, but inquiry. I wonder if there was an active inquiry into Black and brown people, because I use all caps for my moderators, Carlene, so that I can see important information. And then I only have one or two other people on here that have vision impairments, and they type in all caps. So other than them and my moderators, nobody else uses all caps, so that I can actually see messages that I need to see for my moderators. You can see the light bulb on my head, can you? But so let me kind of finish what I was saying, and before I get distracted and then I can't remember. But yes, but I don't know that historically speaking, there has been an active inquiry and exploration, if you will, in Black and brown neighborhoods, communities, and homes to see if our children have an interest in running for office. It seems to be more of an afterthought birthed out of something different, right? Oh, you almost fell, sis. And so I'm wondering, what would happen? What would happen if, don't step on that. There might be something in there you can break. What would happen what would happen if there was a concerted effort in Black and brown families to introduce their children to policy, to law, to legislation, right? And see if they have an interest, thanks, Blue Honey Pot, in running for office. You guys were trying to give the gifts so she could see them, and she did it so quick. Sorry. Thanks. Right? Mila, everybody's saying hi to you. Hi. But what do you all think about that? As a, and I'm not afraid to use this word, but as a strategy, as a long-term strategy. And I don't think that you have to be a lawyer necessarily, because some people may and may not. There's plenty of people in Congress that aren't lawyers. Right? So when I start to think about what could African-American Native communities do, as part of an intentional strategy, right? For permanent effective change. Okay, listen, you got to say hi and then you let me finish, okay?
Hi.
Don't say it so loud. They're sitting right here, please. You're silly. Okay. Tell them, say, I'll see you later. You got a hat and a mustache. Oh, you're blowing bubbles. So on TikTok, they give gifts and you can see them. Look, girl, you got a hat on. Okay, get down for me, sissy. Please. You blew your bubble. Okay, get down so I can finish, okay? See the dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's sending you dinos. What's up, Jen?
Hey, I just wanted to add a quick anecdotal story to what you're proposing right now, which I think is super, super important. One of my coworkers, he's from Samoan descent, and he grew up in the valley. Okay, so more of a rural area, and he had explained to me that when he grew up, he's like, Jen, I never knew I could own a house. He goes, I just didn't think that was a thing for people like me and people in my community. And he's like, I happened to run into a guy, it was a white guy, happened to be, but it doesn't have to be, right? Who said, I can show you the path to homeownership if you're interested. And my coworker is a really hard worker, and he cares about a lot of people. I mean, most of his life, he's grown up with 11, 12 people in his home. You know what I mean? Like sleeping wherever they sleep, because that's how they take care of each other. And he's like, I never knew this was even possible until somebody reached out and told me. I didn't even know to seek out that question. So what you're saying by introducing that, I think is extremely important, because a lot of people may not even realize, hey, this is an actual potential path for me, an opportunity that I never knew existed. And I will just happy to say, come full circle, my coworker now not only owns a house, is looking at potentially purchasing additional property, has opened his own small business, and is paying it forward to other people in his community to help show them the way as well.
So I love that so much, Jen, and I'm digging while I'm listening because I want to say this to people, and I don't care if I pick up a marker or not. Okay, so let me just say this, folks. So what Jen is talking about is exactly like what we're talking about in everything else, right? It's the opportunity is the same. It's the access to the opportunity that is different, right? When you grow up in an environment or a culture or a family where they have had the opportunity to learn about these things, to see them practiced, to have had parents and grandparents and all of those things that have done it, right? Then it's easy. It's a normal path. It's something that you've been around, you know about, right? But when you're not around it, when you don't have access to that information, you don't know what you don't know. And remember, we do this all the time. So if this is your brain, and of course that marker doesn't want to work, but let me just show you. So if this circle is your brain, right? Hold on, TikTok, Jesus.
Man.
Hold on, you gotta hold on 1 second. So if this circle is your brain, right? And everything in your brain is everything that you could possibly know, right? Here's what you know that you know. That little pie slice right there, that is what you know that you know, right? Over here, my KDK is what I know that I don't know. For example, I know that I don't know how to fly a plane, right? I know that I don't know. I know Phantom. Jesus, that's what I was looking for. Let me just see if I can do it with this. Phantom said, girl, get you a darker marker. I know. I'm just going to see if my pen shows up better. Does the pen show up better? Yes. Okay. So that's your brain. This is what you know that you know. This little area right here. And everything that your brain could know, this is what you know that you know. Right? This is what you know that you don't know. I know that I don't know how to fly a plane. I know that I don't know how to rebuild an engine. I know that I don't know how to do whatever, right? This is what I know that I don't know. All of this out of here, I don't know that I don't know it. So I don't know to ask about it. If it is not introduced to me, if I do not meet someone, if it doesn't cross my path, then I don't know that I don't know it. And that's what people need to remember, is that we don't all have the same experiences and the same exposures. And so to assume that you know and other people know the same thing is ridiculous, because it just cannot be. Right? It's the access. And so what I love about that story is somebody gave him access to something he had no clue about. And while the opportunity existed for both people, one had access and the other one did not, until the other one gave him access. She's singing with her headphones on again. So yeah, Jen, I love that story.
Yeah, I think it's so important to be proactive about the exposure, because exactly to your point, they don't know what they don't know. They don't know what questions to ask. If they don't even realize that information is out there. And I think that is super important to at least helping to equalize communities, right? It's not going to be the end-all solution, but it is definitely going to make a huge difference. A lot of these things, in my belief, when it comes to things like reparations, I believe a huge part of that needs to be invested in the communities and education. Because it breaks my heart where teachers who have tenure, they may start in marginalized neighborhoods, because that's what you get thrown into when you have no tenure. And then guess what? The minute you have tenure, you leave.
Yes.
The minute you have experience that you can now share with more children, you leave to go to a more affluent area. And guess what that does? It's a perpetual cycle of, not to say that new teachers aren't beneficial, but you get the point, right?
Exactly.
And so what we need to do is put money into those communities so that, experienced teachers want to stay, so that businesses want to stay. Right? That's going to help get this kind of opportunity and access and information more into those communities. That's my personal opinion. But anyway, I love the idea. I absolutely think there should be a movement behind it. I just wanted to add that. And before I, get off your panel here, please, everybody, if you haven't already, please make sure you have followed Danny on every other platform. I'm sure most of you in here have already. But just in case there's a newbie, please make sure you've done it. It's the Danny Cook on almost all the platforms. Make sure you're connected before tomorrow. Just in case.
Just in case. I said that at the beginning, but thank you, Jen. Yes, definitely. Agreed. Appreciate you.
All right.
Thanks, Jen. All right. Yeah. So for those of you all, because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, Donald Trump says he's going to sign an extension for TikTok if there's no agreement by tomorrow. If that does or doesn't happen, listen, I will be on YouTube. I will be on Facebook. I will be here if it's up and running. I have my Substack and then the podcast. And so, I'm just refusing to fret about something that I cannot change or control at all. If it is up and running, I will be here. If it is not, then I'll be everywhere else. And that is where you can follow me. Right. I think that do not delete TikTok. That's right. Because no matter what happens, you want to be able to have the app. And I truly, we have over 600 and some people in the Discord now. Right. And so we have a strong community, regardless of what happens, where TikTok is concerned. I would love to continue to reach that community and grow it and magnify it and do what we do, right? So that means you have to 100% be in the Discord. And so you get to the Discord through my link tree. My link tree is in my profile on YouTube, on Facebook, and on here. Yep. And I'm on Substack, which I will be on Substack, Donna Ski, even more. I'm starting to get a solid schedule put in place. There's a lot of difference between the Chinese being able to own land or not, or own TikTok. So the problem isn't the Chinese owning a business in the United States. The problem is what kind of business and what it owns. They don't own TikTok. TikTok, as we know it, is American owned. It is the algorithm that the Chinese owns. And what they are concerned about is a ton of our personal information, a ton of our personal data, like Mark Zuckerberg has. They do not want, because ByteDance is required to have transparency with the Chinese government. And so their thing is, there's all these American citizens whose data is accessible by the Chinese Communist Party. That's what their thing is. My thing is simply this. What they want is for only Elon and Mark Zuckerberg to have access to all of our shit and nobody else's, and to be able to kind of dictate and censor. So for me, Mila, not so loud, please. Yeah, so it just kind of is what it is, folks. And like I said, I don't think it's going anywhere. Trump has said he doesn't intend for it to go anywhere. He has said he plans to sign an extension if it comes to that. Fine. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. We got work to do. So let me just say this. Things that need to happen. We have a spreadsheet in the game plan. We need to be putting in that spreadsheet all of the races that are being run that are unopposed, right? That's important. So that we can do that. Yeah. So Rhonda, until something is official, because what will happen is somebody will leave this live and they'll say, oh, somebody on Danny's live said such and such about TikTok. I don't like to do that until everything is official and I can back it up with facts. I don't like to specify about any of that shit because we don't know. So I appreciate, but I don't speculate until I can. Effing EJet, I don't see anybody as a potential buyer of TikTok. I don't care. They're all the same. If I'm being honest, I don't care. I'm not Miss Cleo. I'm not speculating about who could buy it, who couldn't buy it. I literally could give zero fucks. I don't care. What I care about is it being, it's the 5th, Phantom. So what I care about is, that's my understanding. I don't know. Don't make me lie, Phantom. That's how much I care about it. And I don't even really know the date. All I care about is getting together with people who have the same desires and alignment as me. If you want to continue to do good work, thanks, Merlot, and to do the work that's necessary for us to heal, for us to grow, for us to do all of that, then I want you in the community. Karen, you enjoyed last night's Zoom? Yay, I love that. I really do. I love that. So those things are going to continue to build and they're going to continue to grow. Like that's happening, regardless of what happens, right? And the thing that I love about that for us is even though we meet a lot here on TikTok, we can meet anywhere, right? What's up, cuz? We can do it on TikTok. We can do it on YouTube. We can do it on Facebook. We can do it on Substack. We can do it through my podcast. We can do this, what we're doing right now, right? I have an episode that needs to go out, Donna Ski, right now. Yep. So, oh, you're welcome, Veronica Cox. I will tell you this, the new Substack article that is about to come out, it looks like I'm tentatively traveling to Indiana to help properly inform the folks of Indiana what a COPA might mean to them. What does a certificate advantage potentially mean to you? So the CEO of our medical monopoly back home, Alan Levine, has been in contact with the state legislature in Indiana, according to them, and been helping them kind of figure out what this could do for them. And so I want to go and help present the other side. I have a general surgeon who is also willing to go. I have some other constituents who, if they can't go, are willing to record and give me their information. So as soon as I have times and dates and places and all of that, then I will let people know, right? But next week I'll be in Michigan. So things that I want you to be focused on today are the fact that, so when Donald Trump tries to say, connect the dots as in saying it's because of her. Thanks, Blue Honey Pot. So, as we think about all of the things that are happening right now, the people that are the most impacted, folks, are not the ultra rich. They are not. Listen to me when I tell you it is not the ultra rich. And you might say, oh, well, what's happening in the stock market? Listen, folks, they have enough money to ride out that damn stock market. Many of you do not. People living on their retirement people depending upon those 401ks to be what they are. Many of you do not have what. So it's the difference between playing blackjack and 3-card poker. One of them requires really, really deep pockets. And that's what they have. So when Trump says to you, oh, well, I'm taking from the ultra rich because I'm intentionally crashing the market. No, that's not it. He's intentionally crashing the market because all of those folks, because all of those folks have the funds to buy up all of those low stocks, and then they own shit. They own more when it comes back up. You follow me? Y'all get it, right? It's a money grab. Absolutely. People need to really understand this. If you want to know, when people say, I can't figure out why he's doing this, I just can't imagine why he's doing this. Here's the answer every time. Here's the answer every time. Money. That's the answer. Every damn time. That's all you got to look at. Money and power. That's it, folks. So you have to be about the business of, like, people want to chase that down. Oh, well, we need to investigate. Da, da, da. I don't need to know. I already know. Money and power. Listen, they had a man. I want y'all to just understand this. They got a man to change his religion, not change it to the religion of his wife. Right? Not only did they get this man to change his religion, he changed it to a religion that ain't even the religion of his wife's family, right? They got this man to talk about immigrants and how horrible they are while his wife is an immigrant. Daughter of immigrants, right? They got somebody that literally aligned with fascism and racism and feminism and all the things. They got the never, never guy to be the always whatever guy. He literally said it to you in the Signal chat. He said, I'm willing to go along with whatever the group consensus is. Just keep my ass in power, stay happy with me, and I'm willing to do whatever y'all want to do. That's pretty much that's what JD Vance said to you. Right? So when you understand, I'm always tickled when Vance, JD Vance, that's who I'm talking about. JD Vance. Yeah. Right? And at the end of the day, the thing that will get me the most fired up about this, and I think this is the same for most of you, is that it will be the least of us and the people that have the least who get hurt the most. Right? So again, things that we think about. So when we start to think about strategy, I wonder how many of us are going into the colleges, not just having the, like, because you know that they do have, like, the Republicans, the college Republicans of whatever college, and the college Democrats of whatever college, right? You know they have those. But I'm talking about something different. The progressive movement, not necessarily the Democratic Party, but maybe the progressive movement needs an answer. They need a response group to the Charlie Kirks, to Turning Point USA. What is the Democratic or progressive alternative to Turning Point USA? Because we need one of those. Now, here's what I'm going to say to you. I'm not the girl to head that up. I got too much on my plate as it is. So here's what I know. Who of you is connected to college age folks? Who of you has connections in the world of academia? Because you're who we need. And then you need to start rallying those folks together. Okay, so Janice, you answered first. So here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. All right. So all of you all that, all right. So we need, I'm trying to think. I'm just thinking real quick. So what you would have to have, Janice, is you would need to be in touch with people that have email lists or texting lists that would be email or texting lists that no, you're good. You're good. You're good. Veronica, I don't even know who that is. But follow me. Yeah, but here's the thing. So Kimber, are you on their email list? Because I am. Are you on their email list? Because I am. Yeah, it's, you know what? I signed up once just on a whim because they were bringing Kyle Rittenhouse somewhere. And so I did. So let me just pop up here for just a second. So they are literally having a student action summit, right? It's in July in Tampa, Florida, right? And you are the next wave of leaders. You can register here. The battle for freedom isn't over. Where's the Democratic version of this? Where's the Democratic version of this? And how quickly can one be put together? No, you're okay, Janice. But y'all follow me? It's July 11th through the 13th in Tampa Bay, Florida. They're expecting 5,000 people in attendance. The cost for 15 and under, for folks that are 13 to 15, $50. For people 16 to 17, $50. 18 to 26, this is student general admission, $50. 27 to 35, that's what they're considering young adults, $100. Adult general, if you're 36 and over, $350. You all, what is the purpose of that? What is the purpose of getting kids in the door at $50, but their parents in the door for $350? That means you want my kid in the arena by themselves without me. Right? Why would you charge $50 for the 15-year-old, the 16-year-old, the 17-year-old, but $350 for the parent? Yeah, because you want my kid without me to be able to tell my kid whatever. Why is no one talking about this? I guess I will be, right? But this is what I'm telling you all. Hold on, let me get to another one. So like another one, they put out one that said Gavin Newsom admitted we're winning. President Trump asked me to serve. Listen, folks, we've got to be, I know it's been going on. Thanks, Jesse James. I know it's been going on for years. I know it has. That's how they recruited Nick Fuentes. Listen, they recruited Nick when he was 18 years old. They have been in this for the long game. And so this is my thing is, all right, then let's do the long game. Let's do the here and now and the long game. And don't get distracted and don't get deterred. So we need to match their energy, but not using their tactics. The energy that we need to match is their commitment. That's the energy we need to match. That's the one thing that I would say progressives need to match is the energy of Republicans. The commitment. That's it. Match their commitment. It's the Charlie Kirk Turning Point USA Student Action Summit. So for me, if you are someone that is interested in, can somebody do this for me? Can someone do this so that I don't have to add it to the many list of things I'm not getting done? Our girl's asleep, by the way. Can someone set up a Google form that has just names, email addresses, and states for people who are interested in getting involved with college recruitment? College people, students getting involved. We need to look at what other organizations are out there that are already attempting to do work, and how do we pull everyone together? Because what I think happens is one of the things you don't see, there's only one of these on the Republican side. I bet you money there's about 5 of them on the Democratic side, but on a smaller level. Right? So here's what I would ask is everybody contact your local Democratic office. Ask them if they have a student chapter or if they know of an organization in your area that is focused on recruiting students and getting them together. 16 and up, right? Contact your local Democratic Party, ask that question, and then let's let me see, today's Friday. So let's set a time on Wednesday. Oh shit, nope, I'm traveling Wednesday. For fuck's sake. Hold on, I have to get a calendar up. Sorry guys, I have to get a calendar up. Okay, so April the 8th, I travel, let's see, I'm back 9th, I travel the 10th. What is this? Oh, okay. April, okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do the 16th. Awesome, Lisa. Awesome. So, because even if it's not something that, yeah. So, guys, if this platform is down, it's going to be YouTube and Facebook. That's where it's going to be, YouTube and Facebook. If this platform is down, it will be YouTube and Facebook. Okay. And Blue Sky. Those are going to be the places where I'm at. But this has to be your deal. This has to be like something that you are passionate about so that you can be committed to the process. So whoever listens to this and goes, oh, fuck yeah, I'm about that, right? So what I want to do is meet again on the 16th, April 16th. I want us to meet again, okay? And then everybody can say, oh, this is what I found out. And so whatever organization, so let's just say that you contact your local Democratic Party and you find out that that yes, they have an organization or they have a chapter or they know of an organization. then your job then is to reach out to the organization and tell them we are trying to collaborate to get to see how many of us there are in how many states. And what are the things that are happening? What's already being done? So we're not reinventing the fucking wheel. Let's pull it all together, because that's the one thing that Dems don't fucking do and Republicans do. You don't see anybody going, well, I don't want to be under Charlie Kirk. Nope. You see one Turning Point USA and you see the whole fucking country coming in line. So that's what needs to happen, because there has to be an alternative to this. Has to. BA, you said what time? I would say, yeah, you're welcome, Rebecca. I would say April 16th at 11 a.m. right now. Same time, same place, right? Same time, same place on the 16th. But for those of you all, if this is meant for you, if this is something that gets you excited, then do that. This is you, right? If you are, if there's something else that gets you excited, a group of individuals that you can't wait to talk to, that you want to share information with, that you think aren't getting whatever. So yeah, I know it's tomorrow. Listen, folks, the reason why I am not freaking out about TikTok is very simple. Donald Trump has already said, I'll just sign another executive order to extend it and get it done. He's already said that. So do I think TikTok is going down tomorrow? I don't. If it does, I'm just saying. Awesome. Giggles. Love that. So if you are on my link tree, go to my link tree. You will see the link to my Discord. It's a little game controller. If you click it and it gives you problems, copy it and paste it into a different browser. If it still gives you problem, manually paste it in. You can open Discord and open the link in Discord. Okay. But we're going to get together. So let me just tell y'all, in the last 24 hours, we did an hour and a half workshop last night with folks. Before that, let me see. And then my folks that are subscribed directly through me and not through TikTok, those folks we met at, the link tree is accessible on TikTok, on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. But we met at 5:15 this morning. So there's a group of us that people that are directly subscribed through me. And and so we're getting into our kind of mindfulness, and how do we stay grounded? How do we stay centered in the middle of all this? Right? So like we have a whole program that's focused on just that. How do you stay grounded? How do you stay focused? How do you stay whatever? How do you continue to be okay as a human being in the midst of all of these things? How do you rectify and undo the things that are going on in you, right? That have caused this? Because listen, if you do not like our political environment, you have to own the fact that we helped create it. You have to own the fact that we participated in creating the environment that we have. No, you can do it either way. River Ray, there are some people who are choosing to subscribe on both, because TikTok's only $3. So there are some people that are doing $3 on TikTok and $9 through me, or $3 on TikTok and $18 through me. It's whatever people want to do. And there are some people who canceled TikTok and they're just through me. And then some people don't like it because now they don't have their stickers on TikTok. Because I don't get to control that. TikTok does, right? Yeah, so we can figure it out. So listen, between now and the 16th, and this is not everybody. Let me just say this. This is not everybody. What we were saying is that the progressive people, you need an answer. You need an answer to the Charlie Kirk Turning Point USA, right? And so there's not one currently. And if there is one, there's more than one, and they're separated and they're not all working cohesively together. And so what I said is, who of you has contacts in the college level, arena in academia? And if that is you, and this is something that you could take on and spearhead, then that's amazing, right? I'm happy to provide the place to meet and collaborate and bring people together, and then have you all kind of like do the legwork, right? Yeah, I know the other Jen. Yeah, I'm familiar with Midas Touch. But so again, so what does this mean? This means for those of you all who have those contacts, it means that you go over there. It means that you reach out to those people, find out from your local Democratic Party, from your local offices, and find out who is already doing something, who is not, if there isn't anybody doing anything, right? And then we need to create like a one spreadsheet so that there can be this, because we need to be organizing the way that they're doing it. For y'all that don't get it, they are going into these colleges and universities and doing it. And do you want to know what's going to be, what's making it easier, what's going to make it easier for them, the way that things are right now? Is when you remove the DEI initiatives from colleges, then people who would normally be talking about the issues that we talk about, then those people can't come speak on campuses. But Charlie Kirk would be a perfect America first kind of person that would get, you know what I'm saying? So right now they are structuring it to give them a lead, to give them an in where progressives don't have it. And then come back on the 16th and let's find out what we find out. If everybody does this in your state, we'll have a good picture of what young Dems and young progressives look like across the state. And I will tell you what, one of the things that I think is an issue is that if I were to ask right now, if I were to ask any young Republican, what is the ideology of Republicans? They could tell me. They could tell me the ideology of the Trump administration and Republicans, right? They could tell me. Can you tell me the ideology of the Democratic Party? Gumps, you might have to copy and paste it in a browser or manually type it. Sometimes it just does that. What I would like for you all to do is tell me the main snippet of what the Democratic Party is about right now today, and something that everybody would go, yep, every time I hear so-and-so, that's what they say. Every time I hear so-and-so, that's what they say. Every time I hear so-and-so, that's what they say. You can't, because they're not all saying the same thing. Yeah, go ahead, Carol, and enjoy. Happy anniversary. Exactly. So guess what? We need to come under one umbrella of messaging, one umbrella of ideology, and be able to stand 10 toes down in it. So let's add that to the list of things to brainstorm, so that all of us, when we are together, right? However many, when I get off of here, it will have said something like 5,000 views or 3,000 views or 7,000 views, whatever it says. Let's plan this. That's too long, Lemuel. It's too long, right? I don't care what the party's ready for this. So listen, I don't care what the Democratic Party is ready for this. Voters are ready for it. Organizers are ready for it. People are ready for it. And so guess what we're going to do? We are going to build it and they will come. We will build it and they will come. So I want you to be marinating on that between now and the 16th. Be marinating on, what do you think is the ideology? Yeah, but people argue about what democracy means. Here's what I think. So listen, I'm not even interested in getting leaders up to speed. Here's what I believe. I believe that you do the work and leaders will emerge. People say, who's the next leader of the Democratic Party? Whoever the fuck shows up. Whoever shows up, whoever comes forth, whoever naturally assumes that position, because that's who the people will follow. Right, Christine. People couldn't even agree whether or not that they thought Cory Booker doing the thing was a good thing or not. What's up, coolest mom ever? It's whoever rises, whoever the people lift up to that position, that's who it is. Right? So, two things, right? It has to be. So let me ask you all this very clearly. What is the ideology of the Republican Party right now? What are people, what are they, what's the deal? Because do you know what immediately comes to my brain? Do you know what immediately comes to my brain as a slogan for progressives? Listen to this. Immediately my brain goes, Americans first. Because they want America first. Nope. Americans first, right? Right? So Americans first. All welcome. Americans first, all respected. I got to do one more. Hold on. Americans first, all welcome. This is for Democrats. This is for Democrats. Hold on a second. Ooh, that's good, anti-MLM kid. All valued. Okay, wait. Oh. Blue honey pot. I don't know. Oh my God, Veronica Cox, you said the same thing that someone else said, and so I wrote it down. So listen, because we do need to take care of our folks first. We do. I get that, right? But that doesn't mean at the detriment of everybody else, right? Okay, I got it. Hold on. Let me get it. Hold on. There's so many things, but I love this. This is what this is about, right? Okay, so hold on. I do like humanity first because that's what I say all the time. Humanity first. You like Americans first? I know. The reason I like Americans first is just because it's a play on their America first. And the difference is that we're not focused on the business of America. We're focused on the people. And that's the distinction that I think would give you traction, right? So Americans first, all welcome, right? Everyone valued or all valued. If I want to do triple A's. Yeah, I know it sounds anti-immigrants, but glitzy girl, that's why the second thing says all are welcome. But that's why the second one would say all are welcome. I hear you all. But listen, that's actually a good thing. If it says to you, if your first thing is, oh, it's anti-immigrant, great. And the reason why is it will appeal to the other side. It will allow us to build a bridge. Because the very second thing that it says is all welcome. Right? Americans first, all welcome, everyone valued. You hear me? So if my first line is going to turn people off, yeah, it's not going to be helpful. And Americans are diverse, right? But I'm staying away from trigger words. I'm staying away from things that would turn people away, right? I like what I just saw somebody else say too. So Americans first, all welcome, you matter. I like the you matter because it makes it personal. What do you all think about that? Americans first, all welcome, you matter. Americans first, all welcome, all are welcome, and you matter. That's pretty awesome, right? Yeah, we did the valued first. We had value first. Um, okay, so here's what I would like to do. But that we need to attract anti-immigrants. That's the whole point. That is the whole point. Is that people that have an anti-immigrant status? Well, don't put it on a damn t-shirt yet. We created it here. I got to come up with a logo for it yet. Don't take it and run with it yet, please. Let me finalize it. Let me put it together and let me put it in the merch shop, y'all. Please, y'all. Don't take my shit while we're on a live. Jesus. um like I'm just saying. Okay. Um okay, so a couple of things. So as we are talking about how we need to go about building our own coalition, right? Right. Don't steal my car while I'm stealing it. Titus. um I don't want to make it too long, y'all. I don't want to make it too long, and I'll tell you why. Um, this is just what gets you in the door. If you say too much up front, you're going to turn them away. Yeah, but listen, folks, if you say humanity, they know you're going to be a progressive and they're not going to talk to you. Listen, if we say anything about diversity, if you say anything about humanity, if you say any of that shit, they get it. So, hold on. I'm doing something real quick. Here we go. Me doing shit I ain't got no business doing. But here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Hold on. You guys are doing this with me. So give me a second. Okay. It's not what I want. I want this. Somebody bought this shit just to try to sell it for 12 grand. Kiss my ass. Absolutely not. So here's what we're going to do. we're going to do a, okay, here I go. And am I signed in? Let me sign in. Hold on. Katrina, we are aware that we're not American. We are aware that we're not America. We're very aware. We're aware. This isn't about like that. This is about something different. So give me 1 second, please. Thank you for subscribing, Natalie. Appreciate it. You guys bear with me for 1 second, because here I go doing stuff. I want you to pick a word. Pick space or pick club. Space or club? Space? Space it is. That's what I was going to say. Space has it by the look of things. Oh my God, stop trying to do shit, please. So, all right. I'm making sure I don't have no damn typos, because there's some shit that would happen to me. And then, oh wait, I don't want this. I don't want this. I want to remove. Thank you. Hold on. Almost done. No, because honestly, no, because those were the two that I was trying to choose between. All right, so here's what's happening. Your socialism is showing. Yeah, we do have to find a great acronym. Agreed. Holy geez. All right. So what I need is, thank you, Jesus. Okay. So, Americans First .space has just been purchased, that domain name. And over the weekend, I will get a page up for it. I will get something up for it. So done, just like that. This is where my digital marketing background does help, right? Boom. Americans First .space is ours. We own it. We own it. So here is what concept needs the acronym. Okay, so let me just explain really quickly before I wrap this up, okay? So what we have been talking about on this live is a lot. First of all, we started out talking about agriculture and big ag and tariffs and Native Americans and how much of our agriculture we export to China and what kind of hit that would be on us and how that's going to impact small towns and rural places. And that's what we started out talking about. And then we began to talk about, like mobilization and one of the things that the Republican Party has been good at is commitment, and their ability to organize large scale. And so I used Turning Point USA as an example, right? And I said, you have Turning Point USA, and they literally are having a summit this summer where they're going to have 5,000 kids between the ages of 15 and up. And what's crazy is they do 50 bucks, 50 for the kids, right? But then once you get into the adult ages over 25, then the tickets become like 250, 350. It's almost like they just want parents to drop their kids off so that they have their kids in this crazy environment, right? Which I don't know if you've ever been in a huge Coliseum type of environment, but the energy is very infectious and there is a real cultish effect. I've experienced it firsthand in mega churches and things like that, right? So we started talking about ways to offset that. And I said, one of the advantages that they have is you can ask them, what is the Republican ideology? And everybody can name it. Everybody can name it. Everybody knows what it is. America first, right? And then after that, no brown and black people, no LGBTQIA people, and women should be in the kitchen. But pretty much, right? So anyway, so as we were talking about that, and I said, so can anybody name consistently what's the Democratic Party slogan collectively? And there's not one. And so what I think about is, how do we bridge this gap? How do we bridge this gap and bring people together? And so I came up with the first line. Several of us all at the same time said the second line. And then the third line came from one person on TikTok in the comments that I read. And so this would be our three phrases, right? One is Americans first. So not the country, but the people first. 2, all are welcome. Americans first, all are welcome. And then you matter, because then it makes it personal to each individual person. And so that is AAY. Hey, that's what hit me. Listen, I said AAY. That's A. Don't. I don't know. My grandson would be mortified by that. And so what I did on the spot is I just went and purchased the domain name. And so it is, the domain name is Americans First .space. And people were like, well, it sounds almost anti-immigrant. I said, it doesn't until you get to the second part, right? Americans first, and then all are welcome. And the reason why is we need to bring people in who are right, Techie Gadget. We need to bring people in who are of opposing views, or who aren't like, oh my God, we now have crossed, fuck my life, 600 measles cases in 22 states in this country. 600 measles cases. And it's so sad, because it doesn't need to be that. Create the space for them to come across the aisle, right? See, you heard me saying that the other day, right? Be a space where they would want to come, right? Right. It's very preventable, right? No, Riley, and that's the point. That is the point. The point is for it to be close to their slogan and to be able to differentiate it. I want every single person that talks to me about this to ask that very question. See, listen, do you know everybody's going to say to you, but isn't that really close to America first? It is. But here's the difference. We are Americans first. We are about the people, not the country. The people. And that's the difference. That's the difference. And then the second is all are welcome. And then the 3 is you matter. Right? Right? So Americans first, all are welcome, and you matter. That's our slogan. Texarkana, I don't care what they're going to say. They know it, but we're going to have that conversation. The point is the point of the slogan is for talking points. Nope. Listen, folks, this is not for us. No, we are not adding billionaires last. Nope, because that is divisive and it will not bring people to us. $22. I just bought the domain name, so there's nothing on it yet. I have to put a page up on it this weekend. So the domain name is americansfirst.space. And so the idea is that we are creating a space for people to come across the aisle. We're not going to get you, but there's a place. Why not use the words out of the Constitution, we the people? Because it doesn't say anything. Like, what does that mean exactly? We the people. What does that? Yeah, and that's okay, Sarah. We're not worried about them. Okay, so can I just say this? And this refers to all of us. Americans first, all are welcome, you matter. This refers to all of us. Like, that's the whole point, is to make a distinction. Folks, this is what I'm saying to you. It creates an opportunity for conversation. 100%. As soon as you say it, people are going to say, "What'd you say?" We're going to say, "Yeah." So it's a 3-part slogan. Please, 3-part ideology. 3 parts. Oh, really? I had no idea, Rebecca. Huh. That's amazing. I love that. Right? But the whole idea is, do you know how much traction is already out there under America First? Right? And so this is an opportunity to show the difference between the two. There is a difference between America First and Americans First. There's a difference. One is about a geographic place, right? And the other one is about the people that keep being forgotten. And then it is, all are welcome. Americans first, all are welcome, and then you matter. The other two are meant to be inviting. And I love the fact that the first one and the second one at first don't seem to go along. I love the fact that the first one sounds like I'm saying no immigrants, and the second one sounds like I'm saying open borders. Right? It's a great talking point. And so now we get the opportunity to run with it and do something amazing with it and build with it. So here's what I want people to do. If you have an idea for a logo, then put that logo together, and then in Discord is Phantom, I feel like I always ask you for something. Katrina, I'm not writing it based on the Constitution. I don't know why this is difficult. Can I just have a channel for just like art, just so that if people have an idea about t-shirt designs, how about that? Just put like a t-shirt designs or logo designs ideas, and then people can throw the pictures in there so I can come and look at them. But that's for people's art, Penny GF. This is for like logo ideas, t-shirt ideas, that sort of thing. Yeah. So, and this is the thing. Let me just say this, folks. If you take the shit that is created in this space, I would hate to be you, because karma is going to come kick your ass. There's so much good energy in this space, so much good stuff here, that if you do wrong by it, I promise you, you're going to get fucked. Not because I'm going to make sure that happens, but because karma's going to get you. And it's already recorded, and I already bought the domain name, so I can prove that we did it here first. So just don't do that. Just don't do that. Okay? Well, this is the whole idea, Bobby. This is why I'm letting people put together different ideas and putting them in the thing, and then we'll see what logo ideas people come up with. Okay, cool. Thank you, Phantom. I appreciate it. All right. Okay, so I believe that we have, I know, I do love that dough, little bird. I love it. So remember, conversations to be having right now around agriculture is the impact on small farmers, the impact on the Native American community, the impact both from a farming perspective and from a healthcare perspective if they make cuts to Medicare or Medicaid, right? And rural towns and small places. Anything I send you, you can already use the cover because I put it on pod product. Okay, cool. Okay, got it. Does anybody have any questions before I go? She is knocked out. Thank you, Jesus. Okay. So let me say this. Nope, not for this. Oh, Jesus, Phantom. Yeah, Phantom, yes. Sub only. Have a great day, Brandy. Am I going to a rally tomorrow? I intend to go to a rally tomorrow. I will also have all three. Yes, see, we can. Yes, see, we can. Yeah, I'm going to have to set up a place for them to be able to message somewhere else. Yeah, we'll see. It's a trust factor, right? It just is that, but absolutely we can. So listen, I do not think that I will be back this evening unless something changes, right? There's always a possibility. I can tell you for sure I will not be back on YouTube and Facebook tonight. If I am back again, it will be on TikTok. I'm not sure about it yet because I do have so much that I need to do and put together, including now a page for this new domain name that I just purchased today. So yeah, and all the things. So, and my daughter's working both jobs today. So that means I have to do dinner for the kiddos and everything else. So I appreciate you all. I will see you all tomorrow. And then we'll go from there. Okay. We got this. A lot of work to do. Put out good information. No, I didn't. I did not get the email to go with the domain because it's not necessary. I'm just going to set it up on Gmail or something. 11 a.m. tomorrow. 11 a.m. tomorrow. Not Panda Express. If we do, we do have another Chinese restaurant, actually two, and a Thai place, but we'll see. I got two that will eat that and two that won't, so we'll just see. But I appreciate you all very much. Have a good Friday night. If I do not see you later, I will see you Sunday. For those of you guys that are subscribers that are doing the book club, please make sure. Yep, book club is 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Sunday. Please make sure that you are in the Discord so that no matter what happens to TikTok, we can still be about the business and doing what we're doing, right? I know that I can have a GoDaddy that matches the domain. I just don't care enough to want to pay for one. I literally just don't care enough to pay for one. I do know that. I just don't care enough to pay for one. If it grows to the point that that's something that we want to do, great. But for right now, for something initial, I'm not jumping through all the hoops and doing all that expense until I see what happens. That is having a domain email is something I can set up later. So, okay. Appreciate everyone. I will see you all later. Be ready, do signs, do all the things. I would love for you all to put in the general chat and in the sub chat your pictures for your signs for tomorrow, for all of those good things, and all of that. So I will. Okay, that was great timing. I got to go anyway. This is about the